The princess is just 16 and honestly her life's a nightmare. Some mysterious illness has taken over her body, scales everywhere, and strangest of all, she says her heart feels like it's been wrapped up tight by a giant python. Every single day she's in agony. Her guardian can't stand to watch her suffer. He's desperate, running himself ragged trying to track down a doctor who might actually help. That's when he hears about Black Jack, a legendary physician, the kind people whisper about, the sort who's supposed to be able to cure anything. No hesitation, he sends Black Jack a letter straight away. Time passes. Then out of the blue, Black Jack gets this weird cardboard box in the mail. It's packed with cash. There's also a letter and a map. The letter pleads for help, says the sender's wife is dying from a mysterious illness and begs Black Jack to come right away. But then Pinocchio, Jack's partner, points out something chilling. This package was sent 2 years ago. Jack doesn't waste another second. He tells Pinocchio to pack up and they hit the road, hoping they're not already too late. They follow the map into the mountains, but a snowstorm hits and the address is nowhere to be found. Worried about Pinocchio, Jack stops at a nearby temple for the night. Bad luck, their car gets stuck in the snow, so they end up sleeping inside it. When Jack wakes up, he's standing at the temple entrance, a bit disoriented. He scoops up Pinocchio and carries her inside. The place looks abandoned, but suddenly a huge bell starts ringing. Out steps a nun. She's beautiful, almost otherworldly. Jack asks her to watch over Pinocchio while he goes to find the patient. But when he follows the map, all he finds is an enormous, ancient tree. That's when a man in full armor rides up on horseback and introduces himself as Saburo, the guy who sent the letter and the package. Before Jack can process this, a group of warriors charges out of nowhere, but Saburo deals with them like it's nothing. Then he takes Jack to his camp where wounded soldiers are scattered everywhere. Finally, Saburo brings Jack to the patient, but it's not his wife. It's the princess. She doesn't care that Jack's there. She just asks Saburo if he brought any Euro leaf. He admits he couldn't get any because of the storm. The moment she hears this, the princess snaps. She grabs a mask and her sword and lashes out at Saburo with everything she's got. Luckily, the blade isn't sharp, so he's fine. Jack tries to step in, but the princess knocks him out cold. When Jack comes to, Saburo finally tells him the truth. 4 years ago, the princess fell ill. Back then, the ruler of a nearby country, Rokujoji, fell in love with her beauty and tried to force her to become his concubine. The princess refused to marry a man old enough to be her grandfather. The day before the wedding, she ate a poisonous fruit. She survived, but that's when the strange disease started. Scales, colors, pain so bad she'd pass out. Only the Euro leaf helps, but it's dangerously addictive, so Saburo's careful not to give her too much. Jack wants to examine the princess but realizes all his medical equipment has vanished. He's got nothing but his own experience to rely on. After a close look, he figures out the heart is the source of the illness. Suddenly, they hear a noise overhead. Someone's eavesdropping. Saburo recognizes her, Sudamaru, a servant of Mrs. Kaoru, Rokujoji's wife. Sudamaru demands they hand over the princess, warning that an army's coming if they don't comply. Saburo's furious. They fight. Sudamaru loses and barely escapes. Jack decides to go back to the car for his backup medical kit, but he stumbles into a trap. Sudamaru pops up again, forcing Jack to come with her. Mrs. Kaoru wants to see him. As Sudamaru heads toward the temple, Jack senses trouble and races back, only to find Pinocchio missing. The beautiful nun, she's actually Mrs. Kaoru. Turns out Kaoru couldn't have children and her husband, Rokujoji, coldly cast her aside. Heartbroken, she became a nun, but her love for him never faded. She just couldn't stand the idea of someone taking her place, another woman stepping in. So Kaoru makes a decision. Pinocchio is her child now. She says it, then drives Jack out, no hesitation. Right now, saving the princess is all that matters. Jack heads back to the car, grabs his medical kit and races upstairs. As he's going up, he catches the princess confronting Saburo. She asks him point-blank why he never married her. Turns out they grew up together, loved each other for years. But Saburo was a servant, she was nobility, and he never dared to cross that line. She was willing to die with him, even by poison, but Saburo just wanted her to live. Jack bursts in and tells them to get ready for surgery. He gives the princess anesthesia, but she won't go under. There's nothing left to try except the last Euro leaf. Saburo gives it to her and finally she drifts off to sleep. Jack gets to work. Meanwhile, Kaoru senses what's happening and storms in, pouring all her power into the curse. What Jack finds is horrifying, the princess's heart tangled up in the coils of a massive python. The snake suddenly swells in size. Saburo doesn't hesitate. He draws his sword and cuts it down with a single blow. but the curse backfires. Kaoru collapses and dies full of hate. Jack stitches up the wound and tells Saburo once it heals, the princess will be fine. Then, chaos. Rokujoji's army shows up. Saburo's men are hopelessly outnumbered. Still, Saburo makes his choice. Even if it means dying, he refuses to leave the princess. Elsewhere, Sudamaru brings Kaoru's body to Rokujoji, but Rokujoji shows no grief, he only cares about the princess now. Suddenly, Sudamaru draws her sword and tries to kill him, but the guards strike her down. With her last bit of strength, she manages to kill Rokujoji too. This whole tangle of love and hatred finally unravels. Saburo fights his way out, escaping with the princess. Overcome with happiness, he finally tells her how deeply he loves her and promises to stay by her side wherever she wants to go, but he doesn't realize she can't hear him anymore. The moment she learned the truth, her wound opened up again and she bled out. Saburo, shattered, chooses to die with her. When Jack arrives, Pinocchio tells him everything. The soldiers dressed the princess and placed her in Rokujoji's coffin to be buried together. Even in death, these two lovers never truly came together. Suddenly, the scene changes. Jack wakes up, he's back in the car. Only half an hour has passed, everything before just a dream, but it all felt real. The snow has stopped. A man appears out of nowhere claiming to be the one who wrote Jack that letter. Jack follows him to his house, climbs the familiar attic stairs, and is stunned. The man's wife looks exactly like the princess from his dream. Jack examines her and finds the truth. She has a tumor on her heart and needs surgery, real surgery in a proper hospital. Jack goes downstairs to talk to the man, but the house is empty. When Jack tells the woman what happened, she explains her husband, Saburo, died in a work accident 2 years ago. Jack is stunned. The package he received was sent exactly 2 years before. It hits him, this cycle of love never ends. Every worn banknote in that old box carries Saburo's silent devotion. Jack says nothing more. He takes the woman with him, determined to get her the best surgery possible. This time he believes she'll survive, because inside her still lives the love Saburo carried for her through 1,000 lifetimes. What is this thing called love that drives us to promise life and death to someone else? May we all find happiness growing old beside those we love. Now somewhere else, a boy named Lawrence falls mysteriously ill. Green plants start sprouting all over his skin. Not even Black Jack, genius doctor, has seen anything like this. Jack removes some of the strange leaves and sends them off for testing. The results are beyond anything he expected. Science can't explain this anymore. Jack shares his findings with Lawrence, but Lawrence's older brother Ellenhead is skeptical. Ellenhead insists that some plants like fungi can infect animals, but Jack shuts that down right away. Whatever's growing on Lawrence, it's not fungi, it's more like moss, something ancient and strange. Jack wants to take Lawrence to a big hospital the next day, one that actually has the right equipment to figure out what's going on with him. But that plan goes out the window fast. In the middle of the night, Jack's phone lights up. It's Ellenhead. He sounds panicked. Lawrence is missing. Jack gets ready to search for him. He tells Pinocchio to go to bed, tries to keep her out of the mess. But there's something Jack misses. Those strange green plants aren't just on Lawrence anymore. They're starting to appear on Pinocchio's skin, too. Jack heads over to Ellenhead's school. Ellenhead is a wreck. He says Lawrence has always been scared to go out alone, there's no way he just left. But then Jack spots something odd on the ground. Fallen plants, the same kind as the ones growing on Lawrence. That's all Jack needs to see. Lawrence is gone. Jack promises Ellenhead he'll find Lawrence. Meanwhile, back at the hotel, something weird is happening. Next to the sleeping Pinocchio, an ancient-looking tree just appears out of nowhere. The window is wide open. Turns out Lawrence came back, but not for Jack. He shows up for Pinocchio. He tells her he scattered seeds onto her skin. Now they're in this together. Pinocchio, half-conscious, follows Lawrence out into the night. They walk along the railway tracks, side by side, heading who knows where. Eventually, they reach a garden, wild and overgrown. Lawrence just takes off his clothes and lies down in the grass. He looks peaceful for the first time. The plants covering his skin seem to be thriving. Jack returns to the hotel and finds Pinocchio gone. Green leaves on the floor give him a bad feeling. He calls her right away. She picks up, but her voice is strange. She says she and Lawrence are heading to the airport and then hangs up. Jack doesn't waste time. He uses his contacts to track them down and finds out they bought tickets to St. Phale. That's where Lawrence lived with his parents before moving to London for school and staying with Ellenhead. With at least some idea of what's going on, Jack and Ellenhead rush to St. Phale. But when they talk to Lawrence's parents, it turns out he never showed up there. Lawrence's father joins Jack, they're both desperate to find him. Meanwhile, Lawrence and Pinocchio keep traveling. Lawrence's condition is getting worse, plants are even growing inside his eyes now. Pinocchio has to hold his hand, leading him onward. They reach a river and suddenly Lawrence collapses. The plants on his body start spreading out of control. Pinocchio freaks out, screaming for help. An old man appears, it's almost like he was waiting for them. He leads them out onto the main road right as Jack arrives. Jack doesn't hesitate, he rushes Lawrence to the hospital. After a full workup, the results are wild. The plants inside Lawrence's body seem to know what they're doing. They avoid his vital organs, almost like they're living with him, not just in him, but they're still draining him, stealing his strength. If nothing changes, they'll kill him. Jack decides surgery is the only option. He works for 28 hours straight, pulling every trick he knows. Finally, the operation ends, and now he understands what started all this, a single seed, one that keeps multiplying inside Lawrence. Jack asks Lawrence's parents if anything weird happened in the past couple years. Lawrence's father remembers one thing. 2 winters ago, during a brutal snowstorm, Lawrence disappeared. For 3 days, no sign of him. Then his father finds him safe and sound under an ancient tree. It didn't make sense, a grown man wouldn't have survived that storm, but Lawrence was fine. Later, they found out that tree was the village's guardian spirit, over 4,500 years old. Jack decides he needs to see this tree himself. But when he gets there, he finds the same old man from before. This time, he's trying to take his own life. Jack manages to save him, but the old man's furious. He spits out insults, calling Jack a soulless doctor who only cares about money. The old man says he wants to die with the tree. Turns out the village plans to build a new road to the city and the ancient tree has to go. Lawrence's father is the man in charge of the project. The old man, convinced the tree cursed Lawrence as revenge. Jack gets even more interested in the tree and starts digging into its history, but nothing stands out. Then one day the construction crew gets ready to cut down the tree. The old man loses it. He tries to stop them, even goes so far as to destroy an excavator with firebombs. Lawrence finally gets the green light to take off his bandages. But the second they come off, everyone just stares. Those strange plants they'd pulled out of him, they're back just like before. Lawrence suddenly remembers something. When he'd gotten lost, it was the ancient tree that saved him. It took care of him, even fed him. He could actually hear the tree's voice. It told him it loved his singing and wanted him to sing forever. But then Lawrence left for London. The tree just wanted him to remember the promise they made. Now standing by the old tree, Lawrence starts to sing his heart out, and something wild happens. This tree, older than history itself, 4,500 years and counting, finally looks content. Then right in front of everyone, it ages in fast forward, shrivels, dries up, and turns into nothing but a brittle, lifeless trunk. Finally, it crashes to the ground. Just like that, Lawrence is cured. Whatever had been haunting his body is gone. But the story doesn't end there. The ancient tree doesn't really vanish. Instead, it sends its seeds flying far and wide. It's like a quiet promise: if you ever need me, I'll be there. And if you ever have to say goodbye, I'll slip away, gentle as the wind. If you like this video, kindly subscribe to my channel and support me.